Welcome to Key Conversations, the podcast where we talk about all things that can help you level up your music career. This season, we are doing the 12 days of Amplify leading up to the holidays, highlighting successes of independent musicians that are part of the monthly mastermind Amplify. I hope you enjoy, and if you're a musician interested in joining, head to inthekey.co/amplify. Let's get started. Hello, welcome to 12 Days of Amplify. This is day 4, the second round, because why not? We are basically sharing all the wins that we've been experiencing as independent musicians in this group Amplify all year long. And the reason I started this is because I heard from hundreds of musicians recently joining my Facebook group. They have to answer some questions. And I found out that a lot of people don't have the career of their dreams. And the reason they say is COVID. And it made me really sad to say, okay, 9 months in to COVID, we're still not, we haven't pivoted. And so I wanted to talk to some musicians this whole week, 12 days of Amplify, to see what else is possible besides just waiting for the world to change. So today we're going to talk to the beautiful and amazing and just amazing soul, Amy MacClain. Hello, Amy.
Hi.
And you made it so easy for me to promote you because your website is literally in your name slot there, amymcclainmusic.com, which makes it, and Mac is MAC, Amy MacClain, if you're listening and not watching. Yep. And so we are going to talk about what's possible. I feel like way back in March, because you've been around for the long haul. In March, we kind of assessed what was going on. And then we're like, all right, we got to pivot. And then we kind of as a group just pivoted. And now we're just talking about wins. And so for me, it was like blowing my mind that like all these musicians were like 9 months into this saying, oh, like COVID screwed up my career. I'm like, all year? Oh dear. Oh, yeah. Honey. Yeah. Tell me, what was that journey for you?
I actually didn't even come into Amplify until May.
Oh, you were a May person. Okay, right.
And my friend brought me in May, because she was having such an incredible time meeting so often and just generating with other musicians, generating ideas, generating confidence, understanding sort of where we all were together and like what were the possibilities, because there's just so many creative people in the space doing interesting, funky things. And we're like, she's like, I'm getting so much support. And I'm like, okay, I'm coming in. And so I came in May and I was on the cusp of a release. Like I've literally in May, I'm still sitting on 35 songs. And I was ready to release one record of 17 songs. That's a whole story arc. And I had like a theatrical piece I might do with it. Of course, not in COVID. And I just didn't know how to, I just was like, oh my God, I got to release this thing. It's COVID. I don't know how to do anything, and I just was like struggling and I was just going to release it and not have any plan. I was just like, my songs are ready. And so I got into Amplify and it was like, whoa, hold on. The whole world of how to do this in a way that's connected to my own vision of how I want to impact people with this music, that's connected to how to build more community so that I could actually make the impact I want to make, both with my music and with all the things behind my music. Like all of that became clear that I was missing. So as soon as I got in, I was like, oh, hold on, put the brakes. And like the pressure to release it was still like, being in a hose that's like, turned off, waiting to, and I just took some time and got to know a lot of really great musicians and I got to see a few people go through releases, and I just did my release last month and it was a completely different experience than it would have been.
You did release it last month. So amazing. And you look so lit up just talking about this release that happened last month that you gave a couple extra months. I said you were in it forever because it just feels like, I feel like March feels like 19 years ago, but that's, in May when you joined feels 19 years ago. But so you get lit up and you look like you just
dog years, COVID years,
Yeah, it's exact. COVID years or dog years. I love that. But what was the clapping and the joy about? There's like so much glee when you talked about this release coming out. So what actually happened that had this be this success for you?
A couple of things. It was like when I joined, I was at the beginning of putting together a website. I was at the beginning of like, I'm just going to release this, but I had no idea what I was doing. And I knew I didn't have any idea what I was doing. And I just was like, I don't care. I need my music out there. I'm going to do it, And I got in there, and being with you and your coaching and being with other people who were doing it, all of a sudden, all the things I didn't know started to become possible. Whereas before, it was like I just didn't know. And so I was kind of like in the discouragement of, well, I'm just going to put it out because it needs to go out.
Right.
And so in that, I backed up. I found a photographer. I got really incredible pictures that it wasn't just about the pictures. I did the branding module. We did some branding work together before that. And it was like, okay, I'm missing this big piece of branding. So I had a friend who does branding work and another friend who does photography. And we put it all together so that I could actually have a website that reflects my personal transformation work that I do in the world, my equity and justice work. We did some talking around that in the group even. We were able to get vulnerable around that. And from that, I was able to bring forward some of the songs that I have that are social justice oriented. And so I went through the process. I figured out my brand. I got the pieces for the website that I would need. I got the branding. I got a logo. I got awesome photography. I got a strategy for moving once I got the brand. And I had a group. Like on the Facebook group, I put up pictures all along the way. Do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this?
So good.
Yeah. I was like, this logo, that logo,
And people get back with you like in like 6 minutes. You have like today Robin posted, he's like, I have 3 album cover options. And like 5 minutes later, he's like, I know which one I need. I'm like, did you even get feedback? He's like, yeah, that's why I know. It's like, yeah, people, because we do that for each other. So it's not like, yeah, all of your stuff came out. So, I mean, everyone, Amy MacClain music.com. We're going there now and we're checking out the branding. That's amazing. So you actually got, like, it wasn't just about the music anymore. It was really about the message and who you were and getting all of it aligned. So the picture kind of zoomed out.
Yeah. Like. Also, I'm a creative, right? I'm a creative. And so it's harder for me to create structure for myself. And so all the structures that are there in Amplify, and not just the modules, like, okay, branding module or money module or team module or, all those things, email. It's not just the module, it's having the structure of the calls to have a something to get to. And, we have these little groups called pups. Our group is called the Pup Lifters. And
Pup Lifters, I love it.
And our pups are a little power up pods. So they're small groups where we can work on what our goals are and having people keep you accountable, which is really critical for me. And also having like deadlines is really critical for me, structures I can fit within. Because otherwise I'm just kind of like 100,000 ideas and I'm just going to go like, I'm going for that one. Well, and then I never actually get anything done in like the kind of concentrated way that really builds careers.
Yeah. I think you're here because I attract we always attract similar people to us. And I have that same like big idea person. It's one of the reasons why I'm like, what are the structures? What's the scaffolding that's going to hold me up? Even though I'm like squirrel idea, other idea. I talk about in Amplify, I talk about my chorus of hamsters. Yeah. Like they're always like, oh, I have an idea for that. Oh, someone said this. I have this idea. And then there's like another, but to be able to have the structures, the calendar, the deadlines, the accountability. I use my fan list as an accountability. I'm like, hey, I want to get on the Billboard charts. This is what it takes. And like, crap, that's what we're doing now. That's what the focus is between now and then, because I said it. And I totally get that. And I think a lot of musicians are either wearing a lot of hats. So you do have lots of projects, but then within each project, you have multiple ideas. So it's like, how do you even rein that in to get anything done in a way that is effective and meaningful and making the difference that you want it to make? So I love that you're using these tools, the calls, there's a bunch of tools in Amplify. And the idea is to never overwhelm anyone. The modules that Amy's talking about are actually, each month we just have a theme, and I create a 10, 15-minute video just sort of talking, bringing in hopefully a new context for that theme, whether it's money or team, like you said, or branding. And there's a little worksheet just to guide you through the month. So it's not like you're got to learn new stuff, but it's just conversation starters. I haven't thought of this in a while. And so there are all these different tools, and the idea is to use the ones that work for you and don't use the ones that don't work. And some people aren't in a power up pod accountability group, and some people are, and it's like the only thing they show up to. So great. Awesome.
Yeah. The other piece about the community, I think that's so key. There's two things. One, the community is so freaking supportive. It's not competitive. Everybody's
cue this comment. I'm totally interrupting you because you literally just said this. And here's Sarah Jelly, who's in the community. She's saying, yes, go Amy. You've done incredible work both inside and outside yourself. I'm so impressed by your authenticity and talent. And then Mary Beth saying, yay, Amy. So like, as you're saying supportive community, like people were writing these comments. It was too good. I had to interrupt you. I'm so sorry.
No, I mean, that's the thing. The community is so supportive. They will join your mailing list. They will stream your stuff on Spotify. They will watch your thing on YouTube and subscribe. I mean, we're all kind of doing that for each other, and it just builds everybody's confidence. It builds our ability to do the things we want to do. And it's not like you're sacrificing anything, right? We're actually stimulating our own creativity, listening to each other. I love Sarah just commented, both Sarah and Mary Beth who just commented. Mary Beth's like an awesome accordion player, among other things, and has all this really great music. And you can watch her on like the Soulful Sunday thing. And Sarah Jelly has this beautiful music that's like therapeutic from the heart and also like really sweet. My friend Gwen over in Amsterdam is like blow your mind with her just out there.
Synthetic bass playing, like so cool. Yeah, there's some serious cool people on here. So I want to hear more about your release that happened a month ago that made you just so giddy like a minute ago. So what made you get it? Like, did you hit some goals? Did you had some champagne wins around it that you hit or got really close that felt? Tell me give us some specifics. Give us some juicy stuff.
Well, so I had a monetary goal. I had a numerical and a monetary goal for the launch. I wanted to sell 100 albums for $1,000, which is kind of small potatoes for some of the things some people are doing, but it was big potatoes for me. And the idea was people would buy for $10. But what I did with my release is I created a set of communications around sacred reciprocity, which is a concept that I work with in my personal growth life. That's really like, how do we bring an offering forward to the world and allow the world to offer back so that we can be in relationship? And this is the other thing I was going to say about community, which is that, for me, when I get lost in my own problems and when I get lost in my past and my trauma and all the things that have me bring forth beautiful music, it's like when I get lost in those things, I feel like that's who I am. But when I commit in the community, when I speak in a community, when I affirm what I've done, when I share in the community, it's like I'm reweaving myself into myself, who I am now. Not who I was when I was traumatized or all my patterns or habits, but it's like, no, I'm weaving myself into this new being and I'm affirming everything I've done. And so I created that on the website. I started to put all these different pieces of who I am there. And I put a piece about sacred reciprocity. And so instead of paying $10 for the album, it's an 8-song album. I thought $10 was generous. People have been paying on average $25 for the album. And yeah, so I've sold about 60 albums for $1,500.
Whoa. So you blew past that $1,000 goal, blew past it.
Yeah.
Wow. And you're almost at the 100. You're 2/3 of the way to the 100 CD goal. So, but it's like they're both feeding into each other.
Yeah.
That's exciting. And it only released a month ago. So you still got plenty of time to chat about it. I mean.
Yeah. And it's a different offering. It's not like I'm begging people to buy my music. It's like I am offering this into my community as an act of service, and they're engaging or not engaging. And there's a lot of freedom that I've gotten actually from the group to really invest in that part of myself. So it doesn't feel so like I'm hammering all my friends and family to buy my album over and over again. It's really more like I've embodied something different.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
When we hammer anyone in Amplify, it's always with a feather.
Yeah. No hammering.
There's a lot of hammering that happens, but we do it with feathers.
Yeah. So the release really went well. And I also feel like I've learned how to space. And also, I just want to be honest, like I took some private coaching with you.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that. And that has been insanely helpful for me to get a plan. So it's like, I've also been able to look at how I'm going to release all these records, because that much 35 songs is a lot. And to look at like, how am I going to really put all that out there in a coordinated way where each piece builds on the other piece? It's so satisfying to be able to do that, and to think about my release as just like the first step in engaging in a certain way. And then there's so much more. And part of like also being in your group had me really double down on this course that I was creating that went along with the record. So I released a course on Halloween, and then I released the record on November 13th, Friday the 13th, which was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. And so the course has a module that goes with each song. So
cool.
It's like a healing arc that I'm taking people through, where they're listening to the song and learning to tune into themselves with the music, and also create a level of healing and something that they want through the album. Yeah, so it's been really fun.
And I just want to acknowledge that, like, yes, we've done some and are doing some one-on-one coaching, but you were in Amplify for so long before, and this record was this like nothing to do with me. This was all you being like, I'm open to this community, to this group coaching, to the structures here. I'm going to use these tools and like give myself some space to sort of absorb. Then you did it. Then you're like, now what? And then you came in, and now we're working one-on-one. So for those of you who are curious, I don't want to make you wait any longer. You can get on the wait list for Amplify. I'm going to have a little ticker below. That's the link there in thekey.co/amplify. If you're like, this sounds good. Amy's clearly a healer, does amazing social justice work, is such a powerhouse. It's an honor for me to have people like this in a group I created. I'm kind of like, what is my, like, this is amazing. So it's so humbling, and it really makes me step up my game in order to be able to make a difference for you, who's making a difference for hundreds of people, like soon to be thousands of people, if not already. And it's just so exciting. So everyone, Amy, tell us, we're clear on your website, amymcclain.com, and the AMYMACCLAIN music.com. So when we go there, what's the one thing you want everyone to do?
Really want you to listen to the album.
Got it.
Don't do anything else, like listen to the album. And if you like it, and you know anyone that could use music that's uplifting, that's really like talking about the struggle that some of us are in, to just stay focused on our own healing. That's the purpose of the song. It's music as medicine. So if you know people that could use that medicine, my number one request is that you share it.
Amazing. So we're listening and we're sharing. So homework for the people listening, whether you are if you're a musician, your homework is to go get on the wait list for Amplify. There's no obligation. You can cancel anytime. You're not paying for anything. You just to find out when we open, which is in a couple weeks. And if you are a musician or not a musician, we're going to amymcclainmusic.com, and we're listening to the record, and then we're going to share it. Here's my very specific assignment. We're going to share it with 3 people. Yeah. That's what we're going to do. We're going to listen and share with 3 people. Okay. So every day, every one of these calls, I'm giving our listeners a very specific assignment so that they can become really good fans. We're working our muscle on how to become good fans and support small businesses, because that is the season to support small businesses, and every independent artist in Amplify is a small business.
If you share it with 3 people and you let me know, so that is tag me on Facebook or sign up on the emailing list and let me know, I'm sending a bonus song to anybody whose friends purchase. So if you purchase it too, I'll send you a bonus song. But just, there you go.
Harold is actually asking for the link in YouTube. amymcclainmusic.com. I am putting it there. Done. I can do that through this platform. So there you go, Harold. Thank you for asking. And then, there's so much engagement right now. Mary Beth says, Amy truly has natural ability as a healer. She can attest to that. So that's amazing. Harold says, that sounds lovely. I don't know to what comment, but whatever you're saying, it all sounds lovely. So there we go. We've got that link there. Anything else that you want to share before we come to a close for now that I haven't asked, or that I have asked, or anything?
Yeah, I just want to share a big shout out to, first of all, to my pup, who are super, super supportive, and also to my friend Dara, who invited me into this group. It wasn't like a weird thing at all. It was like such a saving grace for her to invite me, like, hey, this is something that you could really use. So thank you to Dara, and also thank you to just you and everyone in the community, because it's like this community is just full of delicious, delightful human beings. Some of us are healers. Some of us are just innovators. Some of us are musicians. Some of us are like, but it's like some of us are just our punsters. I don't mean to say just, like, thank you to everyone in this community for all that you've contributed.
Did you say punsters?
Punsters.
Punsters, like people that make puns?
Oh, yeah. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
We do have a lot of punsters in the group.
Oh yeah,
that is true.
We're writers. We're songwriters. We like to rhyme. We like to have fun.
Yeah, we definitely have. I mean, my favorite one is still, hey, we should all go camping one day and we'll call it Camplify. That's still my favorite.
I'm so down for that camp, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Me too, right? I'm like, can we please get this COVID thing handled so we can go to Amplify? Amy, thank you so much for your generosity and for sharing all of this with everyone. And I'm so excited for more and more people to hear your music in this new record. And I can't wait to see what's next with this whole cycle of music that you're creating and the program. It's all so neat and so needed.
Thank you so much. It's really such a joy to be in this group, and I'm so thankful that I am committed to it.
You're amazing. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Well, that's it for today's 12 Days of Amplify session. Thank you so much for listening. And if you are a musician and you're like, yes, I need to be part of this community, go to inthekey.co/amplify. I will see you there.